Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored.
Put my picture as
in order.
You are background.
You're okay. You're good. Guys, you're not good. You are good.
She's already sweet.
Yes, thank you, Samara and Trish. Let me give her something small here. She did amazing to come over, right? She did amazing. She honored my request. I told her and she decided, oh yes, I'm coming. So thank you so much. Sweeta, I'm not going to mention your second name or your surname because I'm terrible. So you're the one when you introduce yourself, you'll tell us what is your name. Sorry, I misspelled your name over here, but people can see your name here under here. Now, Sweeta, she's an amazing lady. I met her. I don't want to tell you how long I've met her, but she has been a blessing to me. And I was waiting for this day. I knew she had not opened her camera, but I was like, when are you opening your camera? She's God-fearing. That's why today we are speaking of finding purpose in Christian-based relationship. So if you're not a Christian, this love, Sweeta, can you see this love? Hey.
Thank you.
Yeah, some people make sure they're here. Some people are going to moderate today because they must moderate. Yes, they have to moderate. Now, Sweeta, we are honored to have you. Oh my goodness, what happened?
No, I was just trying to share the life.
Oh, all right. Okay. So, Sweeta, we are honored to have you right here, and we are waiting for to hear your story. How did you begin? You're going to tell us your story. Then I'm going to ask you a few questions here and there. And then the audience, if you have questions, even if it's the middle of the conversation, please write it down. Because if you don't write it down, you will forget. After the question and answer is the same here, she's going to answer your question. You're not going to do in the middle. I know there's a live stream we did in the middle here and there, but I'm not going to allow that because we really need to be organized. It went well, yes. We started, question came, and then we started, we left our question, and then we started answering questions. But today that is not going to happen. So make sure you have somewhere to write your question so that after the session, we are able to answer your question. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I appreciate each one of you being in this live stream. Now, Sweeta, tell us a story. How did you become a Christian-based relationship coach? Because are you a consultant? Are you a coach? What are you? Let us know. And why did you choose Christian? Why did you choose? Because some people, when they see the name Christian-based coach or consultant, okay, most of the people it's positive, but others who don't love God, they get scared. Oh, and I go to her, there's a lot of rules when it's connected to Christianity, and I don't want to follow the rules. So sorry for asking you a question before you tell us your story. I'm just curious. So go and tell us your story. How did you receive this calling of being a Christian-based relationship coach? Welcome.
All right. Thank you very much, Coach, for that question. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are joining us from. It's so good to have you here. And thank you, Coach, for having me here today. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Loud and clear. I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you. All right. So my name is Sweeta Ike Bavoa. It's Ike Bavoa. It's actually easy.
Ike Bavoa.
It's not Ike Bavoa. It's Ike Bavoa.
Yes, that's why I did not pronounce that name.
It's not pronounced as spelled. Okay. So it's Sweeta Ike Bavoa. And I'm a faith-based relationship coach and marriage counselor, like she has highlighted. Right. So I am a faith-based marriage counselor. I am faith-based, which means that I am a Christian. Okay. I am a child of God. Yes. I just wanted to put that forward because I'm going to be making reference to the scriptures. I'm going to be making reference to God and His word, okay? Because He's my backing. He's the reason why I'm sitting here today. So I'm a Christian. All right. So my journey, how did I start? How did my journey start? My journey in ministry started at a very young age. All right. My journey in ministry started at the age of 9. When I was 9 years old. I started serving in the choir ministry in church. I have an Anglican background, and so my grandmother took me to church. And then at the age of 9, and I was in grade 5, that's primary 5, they call it in my country. I was in grade 5, and then I joined the choir, and it was a big choir. It was not children's choir, okay? It was the adult choir. And so in Anglican church, the choir members usually wear robes. So we wear robes over what you wear to church. And then the robes have different sizes. There is small, medium, large, extra large. So they gave me the extra small because I was very small. And then I'll put it on to still be dragging on the floor. You know, that's how small I was. And then when we are having the choir procession, that's when we are marching into church, they'll put me in front, you know. And as we march in with my robe dragging on the floor, people will look at me in front and be like, oh, so cute. You know, so that was how I started. And that ministry in the choir really gave me the exposure to ministry and public speaking early, because that was public speaking because it required me now standing in front of people and ministry to a large congregation. And I remember even in primary school, also in grade 5, at the age of 9 still, I remember we lost in our our primary school headmaster, and he was such a wonderful person, wonderful man. And so it was his funeral was going to be a very big one. It was a gathering of Ministry of Education from different local government, because he died while in acting service. He died while in acting service, so it was going to be a big gathering. And then the school put together a eulogy to be read on his funeral. And then they went to grade 6, which was the top grade, and then gave to some people that could do the presentation on the day. And then they came to grade 5 and gave to some people that they thought could do the presentation. And at the end of the day, I was chosen to do the presentation, and I did it. And I was in grade 5, and I did it. And that day, they were like, they got what they wanted. If people were emotional, crying, and all of that. I still remember the last line of that eulogy. Yeah, and also when I got to secondary school, I joined a club that was called the Press Club. We had the responsibility of reading the news that had to do with the school assembly, in front of the school assembly every month, or sometimes every week, and once a week. And we're just two in that group, and I was one of them. So that was also public speaking. And then when I got to tertiary, we did a course that was called it was called research methodology. So we're divided into groups, and we're asked to do the preparation of the research together as a group, different groups. So we did them. But at the end of the day, one person was going to do the presentation, right? Present our findings to the whole department. And guess who was chosen to do that again? Yours sincerely, myself. I was chosen again, and I did it. And because that was in front of
you
the
were saying you were 9 years old at this particular time. Are you saying you were 9 years old at this particular time?
No. When I was not in tertiary, when I was not in the university. So I talked about high school and then university. I always had the responsibility of doing public speaking. And because of that presentation, we had a very high grade, and it was given to all of us in the group. And then as I continued my journey in life, after I got married, I realized that people started coming to me to ask me questions about marriage. The people started coming to me to ask me that, how am I doing this marriage thing? You know, they were coming for advice from me, and then they would ask me, how do you do this marriage thing? How do you make it look as if it's so easy? You make marriage look as if it's so easy. This marriage that is so difficult like this. What are you doing differently? You know, and all of that. And then I'll give them advice based on what I know. Because growing up, as I work in different ministries, served in different ministries, I always made sure that I listen to, messages that had to do with marriage. In school, they'll invite guest speakers like this to come speak to us. I always make sure I listen and all of that. I was always interested. And then, so when people come to me, I'll just give them the advice. I'll tell them, okay, this is what I do. And they'll be like, oh, that's wonderful. And then they'll try it out. They'll come back to me and say that they tried this out and it works. I'll be like, oh, okay. So people kept on coming to me for advice. I continue to give the advice and advise them based on what I knew. And I remember one time we had a program in church, and it was a marriage seminar. And then I was part of the people that planned for the program. So there was this activity that we included, that's when we write questions, and then we ask on the day of the program. It was for couples, right? So we're going to ask people to pick a question from the basket. The question is folded in the paper, and then they would read the question and then give the answer. And then remember when we were preparing that the questions, one of the questions was that who is your favorite couple in church? And then it was my senior pastor's wife that suggested I would put that question. And I was like, oh no, that question is, somehow people cannot choose somebody else. Like, it will have to be the pastor and the wife. And my senior pastor's wife is a very interesting person, wonderful person. She doesn't really care. She was like, no, Sweeta, let's add it. And then we added that question. And on the day of the program, guess what? The person that picked the question was this kind of people that they don't care. They say the way it is, And the person opened the question, read the question, who is your favorite couple in church? And the person said, it is Sweeta and her husband. I was like, wow, So I felt like, okay, so what people have been saying is really true, that okay, so that they are saying that, they say that I do marriage, I make it look very easy. So I kept on advising people. And so, but I discovered at some point but let me even say, how did I get to learn all of these things, right? It started from my parents. I learned from my parents. Now, I was privileged. I was privileged to be modeled a very wonderful marriage by my parents. My parents modeled the most wonderful marriage that I've seen up until today. Okay, so, what I knew was, when people say to people that as couples, the way you are living your lives, your children are watching you, and they learn more from what they see you do than what you tell them to do. It is true. I am a living example of that. Okay, so my parents, I've heard people say that they were not privileged, to have a very good marriage model to them, but I was very privileged to have the best of marriage model to me. Before I got married, and that was like, so I've been married for, okay, by the grace, let me tell you how long I've been married for. By the grace of God, this year, October, I'll be married for 20 years. Okay, all right.
That's a journey.
Thank you. So before I got married, before I left home, I remember something that happened, incident. My father said to us at home that somebody asked him a question. I said that, is my mom his concubine? And then he asked the person, why did you ask that question? And the person said, the way people are always all over each other, you people are like lovebirds, you're like new lovers, she's like a concubine to you and all of that. And then he said to the person, no, she's my wife. She's the wife of my youth, and I don't always forget that. We're laughing and all of that. That was how people were. I lost my father 2 years ago. I still can't believe it, And up until now, I still holding my mom. Like, everyone she'll come here, we'll ask her to go to the next, my siblings, we just make her stay with us. And because she's still like, because they were so, everybody was like, how is she going to cope? How is she going to cope? Because they were so close. They had a beautiful marriage. Everybody was like, hey, that marriage was so high. We should be able to survive, and all that. So that was how good. So the point I'm trying to make is that to couples that are listening to me right now in the room, those that are listening to me from the FYP, and everyone that will listen to this message all over the world, know that your children are watching the way you do marriage, and they learn more from what they see you do than what you tell them to do. Very, very important. So you need to be intentional about doing marriage the right way, making your marriage be an example to people and to your children. So that was how I learned. That was how I started learning the things that I was not practicing in my marriage. Okay, because that was what I knew marriage to be, and that was why people started coming to me asking for advice, and started giving them advice. And then at some point, I discovered that in an organization that I was in, something started happening. People started divorcing, and then I was wondering what's going on. At the time, people were now saying that don't even go to that organization. If you go there, your marriage will break. That if you don't want your marriage to break, don't go to that organization. And I said to my husband, what is going on here is not a spiritual thing. Yes, we know that this life we are in, right, is more spiritual than physical. But this one is not a spiritual thing. This thing is the fact that it's happening because the people are not getting teachings on marriage, So I told my husband, people are not getting teachings on marriage. The person that tried to even teach them was somebody that was not a professional. So when she comes up, she'll do her best, and then she will say things like, ladies, take care of yourself, use lipstick, smell good, dress well, and all of that. She will say things like that. And do you know that people that were even the fashionista, people that were fashion people, that were physically beautiful and even beautiful inside out, and smell well, in fact, they were stylish people, they were divorcing. So I felt like, no, this thing is not, I kept on saying, this is not about lipstick. It's more than this, People need balanced message on teaching. So that was how I now decided. Thank you, Coach. That was how I decided to put it upon myself to go to a marriage counseling school, a counseling institute, to learn about marriage, because I felt like since people were now coming to me, and then even before now, people now started inviting me to be part of panelists when they are having marriage seminars, and I started attending, and I felt like I was just giving marriage advice. Now there's a difference between marriage advice and marriage counseling. Okay, there's a difference between marriage advice and marriage counseling. Marriage advice, somebody once said that the woman complained to an elderly person, was a pastor, and said the husband was, treating her badly, and the pastor said to the person, just put, whenever your husband treats you badly or annoys you, put water in your mouth and hold the water like that, and not talk. Is that counseling?
I have heard that people doing that, yes.
That is marriage
speaking. Yeah, to avoid you speaking.
So you don't talk.
Yeah, you don't talk. When you have water in your mouth, you don't talk. So
yes.
Anything bitter already, you not express it because you have water.
Exactly. So that's marriage advice, not marriage counseling, Mm-hmm. So I wanted to learn how to do marriage counseling, in a proper way, professionally. So I went to Marriage Institute, and that was how I became a marriage counselor. I'm actually a certified marriage counselor, right? So, thank you. So I do marital counseling. I do marriage counseling. Yeah.
I'm really honored to have you here, and some of the people also I was able to have, like Samora, Trish. Most of the time when I invite people here, when they have found their purpose, their gift, that is the point where I get to. But I'm so honored to have you, that you were able to skill your gift, and now you're here. Because when you go to school to get more knowledge about your gift, because sometimes you may not know what you're good at, but people who are surrounding you are the ones who are able to tell you. That's why it's very, very important when you do self-awareness. Two types of self-awareness, internal and external. Internal, you check yourself, but external is also more important. What do people want from you? And that is exactly what you saw. What people came to ask for you, you were invited, and then you said, no, I have to do these things in the right way. So congratulations because of doing that. Do you feel fulfilled when you're doing this?
Oh, I feel so fulfilled. I feel very, very fulfilled, more than anything.
Because I know right now, you still did, so you have to make money. But at the same time, when you help somebody, it's not about money, right?
Right.
Money comes secondary, because already you have skilled it, you have to make money. But money is secondary, right?
Yes. So,
can continue.
So for me, the marriage counseling is ministry. Okay, so I see it as ministry to me, because it's my way of serving God by helping people spiritually, emotionally, and relationally. So for me, it is ministry. Yeah, it's not a business, it's not a job, it's a ministry.
Thank you so much. Guys, I've been telling you, you can do your career and you can do purpose. You see what I'm telling you? I'm telling you. All right. Now, thank you for that wonderful introduction, because you have told us almost your whole story about 9 years, meaning you became courageous at a tender age. And I tell everybody, one of the tools you should carry in this journey of purpose is courage. So I can see you at 9 years old wearing that robe, going to the choir. Wow, your story. Oh my God. Small. The robe even is on the floor. It's bigger. It's bigger than you. You did it, and people also respected you. They gave you a chance to be on the front, and they could encourage you, like you're in the front, you're good, and what have you. That's a blessing. Now, my first question to you, Coach Sweeta, how do I know that if this person is the one God chose for me? How do you know? I come to you, I ask you that question. Oh, good Sweeta, I want to get married, but now, how do I know this is the one God has chosen for me?
Okay, that's a very good question. Thank you. Yeah, so how do you know that the person is the right person for you? Wonderful question. Now, when it comes to that, people have different ways of getting to know who their life partner is. So some people have said that they ask God, as we are talking as Christians, right? They ask God to show them a sign, to say when they see the person that they should see a sign for them to know that that is the person. And then God actually shows them a sign. And some other people have said that they would dream, ask the Lord to show them the person in a dream, and then they will dream, and God will reveal the person to them. And when they see the person, they will know that that is the person. But the majority of the people, they get to know through, a kind of sense of peace that they have when they meet the person. Okay, so there's a way that when you meet the person, you just know that this is the one. Okay, and I've heard so many people say that when they see the person, they just know that this is the one that I've been looking for. Because when you find that person, you find that you have a deep sense of peace. You are not panicking. There's no panic. There's no anxiety. You are not worried. There's no doubts. When you see the person. Thank you. And then you find that your purpose will align, your values will align, with each other. So the person, usually you find that the person is in God. The way you are in God, the person is also in God. So your purpose, will align. And right. So you find that the person will be somebody usually that will respect you, that will honor you. Okay. You will see the virtues of God in that person. The person will be kind. The person will be patient. The person will be humble. And you will just know that, no, this is the person. And you find that most times you even have community members validating that person to say, this person, if this man is the right man for you, this woman is the right woman for you. So yeah, so most of the time, that's how people know. They have the same values. Their values are aligned, So that's how people usually know that this is the person. They have peace. There's no worry. Yeah. Usually that's how you know.
So you know a person, if they want to choose a life mate and they want to know if it's God chosen, things must work aligned to each other, their values, their faith, their purpose, that peace. You should have all those things aligned. You don't have any doubt, right?
You don't have doubts. That's how you discern. You don't have any doubt. The person is even supporting your purpose. The person is not going to pull you away from God. The person is even like, yeah, go. Do it's your God-given assignment. The person is ready to support you. That's how you know most times. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That was how I knew. Also, so yes, I'm one of those people that got to know through that way. Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, because once I got married, I did not consider those things because I became expectant. So I did not get a chance to choose what, and the guy wanted me. So I just went. So when you do the alignment, then it's the best thing you can do. Your faith, your values, they push you to be better. They help you, even they ask you for Bible study, or they invite you to a Christian, whatever. Like everything aligns. That's the best answer I've ever had. Thank you guys. I appreciate all of you guys. If you know you have any question, you can write it down. After this, you're gonna ask your questions. Thank you, everybody. Now, my second question to you: how can a relationship work if you're not equally yoked spiritually? For example, maybe I go to Anglican and he goes to Methodist Church. We are all Christian. Can it work like that? Just how can a work to people who are not spiritually yoked? And then we have this situation where this one is not a Christian completely, and I am a Christian. All right, I can be a Christian and somebody else is a Muslim. You get what I'm saying? Right. So let us know, how can it work? Can a relationship work if we are not equally yoked spiritually? I've tried to break it down in different areas so that when you speak about it, you have the bigger picture about these people. They're Christian, but different churches. These people, they're totally different. This is a Muslim, this is a Christian. Like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Other one is not a Christian completely, and you're a Christian. So can this thing work?
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good question. So the Bible says that as Christians, we should not be unequally yoked with unbelievers, right? Which means that we should not be equally yoked with unbelievers. Now, can it work? Yes, it can work, okay? But the chance of it working is very slim. For it to work, it will require a high level of maturity from both parties, because first of all, they are not compatible. For them to be compatible, because when believers are equally yoked, they'll be compatible naturally, like we have highlighted, their values are aligned. But now, if a person marries a person that's not a believer, the chance of it working is slim, but it can work. If they can, it will require high level maturity. It will require compromise. They'll be ready to compromise their values, and it will require mutual respect, high level mutual respect for each other. Right. Okay. Now, but like I said, the chance usually is slim because their values they'll be going in the different directions. You understand? So they need to be very mature to be able to make it work. Right. But now, the Bible says that we should not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Why did he say so? Why did God say so? God said that because it's not because he hates us. It's not because he wants to punish us. He said it for our own good. He gave us that instruction for our own good because he knows that, when we are married to believers, when we are equally yoked, when we are married to people when we're equally yoked with fellow believers, right? Yeah. The marriage is going to be easy because, like we said, our values are going to be the same. We are all going to be communicating to the same God. We're going to have a kind of triangle communication, right? Where the husband will be communicating to God, the wife will be communicating to God. So at the end of the day, God will be giving answers to the wife and God will be giving answers to the husband. So very important because the husband's father-in-law will be God, while the wife's father-in-law will also be God. So everyone will be going to God. So the reason why God does not want us to be equally yoked with unbelievers is because he does not want us to go to hell. We are Christians. He doesn't want us to go to hell because he knows that the unbeliever can easily pull the believer away from the ways of God. I usually use this illustration to say when somebody is standing on an elevated platform and another person is standing on the ground and they're asked to pull each other, the person that is standing on the ground will likely easily pull the one that is standing on top down, faster. Yes. Why? Because the believer is standing on an elevated platform. Light and darkness cannot work together, So they will pull them down. Why is it so? It's not because the believer is stronger, but we are in this world. We are not of this world, the Bible says, right? The God of this world, the things of this world are enticing to the eyes, They can be appealing they can be so enticing to the eyes. They can look so good and all of that. So people can easily drift, and fall for temptations and all of that. So they can easily fall out of the faith and be pulled out of the faith by the unbelievers. That was why God said we should not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. In other words, we should not marry people as believers. We should not marry people that are unbelievers. Now, if we say in the Bible, let's use the case of Solomon. Okay, so Solomon started very well as a child of God. Okay, he was very content at the beginning. When God asked him to ask for something from him, he didn't ask for long life. He didn't ask for money. He asked for wisdom. Okay, that was contentment. He started very well. He asked for wisdom. Now, towards the end of Solomon's life, Solomon but now, right? Because we know that story, how God now gave him even much more, everything, he became the richest person. But we find that Solomon now started marrying so many wives, okay? Later, he started marrying so many wives to the point that he got married to 700 wives, okay? All of them princesses, all of them. Check the Bible. The Bible says that they were all of royal blood, the 700 wives. And then on top of that, he now got himself 300 concubines. That's 1,000. I mean, that's the height of this.
I read that. I am like, what? This is a chosen man of God, right? But what is he doing? Like, I was like, why was it even put in the Bible in the first place? So, oh my God, yes, it's a good example when you talk about marriage. You can continue.
Solomon said, whatever I lay my eyes on that is pleasing to me, I get, and all of that. But now at the end of the day, Solomon now started serving the gods. So he started even marrying people that were serving other gods, which God told him not to do, not to even try to do. So he did that. He was not marrying women that served other gods. Okay, so those are unbelievers. At the end of the day, Solomon started serving other gods. Can you see the danger of being unequally yoked with unbelievers? So he now started serving on other gods, okay? And Bible said that he did not please him the way his father David pleased him. But we thank God that at the end of the day, Solomon said that in the book of Ecclesiastes, he said, vanity upon vanity, all is vanity. To say to us that he has seen it all, there is nothing there. And he said also in the book of Ecclesiastes, he said, let us hear the conclusion of the matter, okay? The right thing is to obey God and obey his commandment, fear God and obey his commandments, yeah. So that is why. It's not because God wants to punish us, it's because he doesn't want us to end up in hell. It's because he loves us, yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. For that even illustration of Solomon, right? We learn as much as the story shocks us, there's a lesson we need to learn from that particular story. Now, I'm here. I've been broken-hearted. I need to heal. How do I heal from a heartbreak in a godly way? Especially if it's a Christian, my fellow Christian, who has hurt me. We got married in the church. Things have gone south. Now I'm single again, I'm divorced. How do I heal in a godly way so that I don't become bitter and what have you?
Yeah, that is a good question. That's a very good question. How do you heal? Wow. You see that question you just asked. If you don't empathize with people that have been broken-hearted, people that are broken-hearted or people that their hearts have been broken, okay? If you don't empathize with them, you can just easily say, oh, forgive, and move on and all that, But if you empathize with people that have gone through heartbreak, empathy means you putting yourself in their situation, and feeling. Empathy is not sympathy. You're not sympathizing with them. It's you putting yourself in their situation and trying to feel what they feel, okay? So when you empathize with people that, go through heartbreak, you find that people that go through heartbreak, they feel the pain from the inside out. They feel the pain deeply. Do you understand? It hurts. It makes them feel like their world is crumbling down on them. You know, they feel like what is even the essence of them still being alive? It makes them feel depressed, make them feel like they are not good enough, and all of that. It is tough. It even makes some people feel like unaliving themselves. It makes some people become suicidal. Okay, so the people feel the pain deep from inside. All right, so that is what heartbreak is all about. Now, how can people heal, overcome heartbreak, right? Come out of heartbreak. That's the question. It's for you to be able to come out of heartbreak or deal with heartbreak. You need to, as a Christian, surrender that pain to God. You need to surrender that pain to God and say, God, this is me. Okay, this is what I'm going through. If you need to cry, cry very well. As a woman, cry. Even as a man, don't say the same men are not supposed to cry. Cry very well. Okay, because when you cry, it is strength. Cry very well, but go to God with your pain. This is where I am right now. This is what has happened to me. This is how I am feeling. Okay, let God know what you are going through. Just pour your heart out to God. That's number one way, and then draw close to God. Okay, another way is to find a purpose in that pain. Find purpose in that pain.
You're in the right place. I love when people talk about purpose. Hey, oh my goodness.
I know, right? Find purpose in that pain. Most times there is something in that pain that you learn, at the end of the day. Very important. And then also, do not allow your identity to be in that past relationship. Let your identity be in the of God, the love of Christ. Okay, do not allow that affect your identity. Don't become something that will not be walking with her head or his head bowed and all of that, walking in shame because you feel everybody's laughing at you. No, your identity is not in your past. You are not your past. Okay, your past does not define you. Okay, your identity is in Christ. Christ is the one that really loves you. You are looking for a lover. Love God. Is God that you should love very well. Okay, he's the one that loves you unconditionally. He loves you so much. Still know that you are special. You are a special child of God. You are a king's kid. You are a special breed. Don't allow it affect your identity at all. Still walk with your shoulders head high, and know that God loves you so much. God loves you. In fact, God loves you so much that he sent his only begotten son to be unalived for your sake. That's how much he loves you. Okay, so that is the love. That is the person that will love you, Yeah, and you can be satisfied to say, yes, somebody loves me and all of that. That is the love you should identify with, not the one that has left, not the heartbreak, or the person that has left you. What you have, don't allow your identity to be tied to that. Tie your identity to God. Anchor your identity on God and on Christ. Know that you are still joined there with Christ. Yes. So yes, and so that's one of the ways to overcome heartbreak, and also to know that learn. Find out the lesson that you learned from that relationship most times, okay, and the heartbreak or everything that happened, okay. Usually there's a lesson you must have learned from it, okay. So focus on the lesson that you have learned from it. And another way to overcome heartbreak is to guide yourself, with godly community. Surround yourself with godly community, people that can help you heal, people that can encourage you, people that can pray with you, people that can, console you, comfort you, help you know that you are still a wonderful, not you are still, you remain, a wonderful child of God, people that can help you. Don't go through it alone. Don't go through it alone. It can be very dangerous when you go through it alone. You are not talking to anybody. You can become depressed. It can affect your mental health even worse than the way it would have if you had shared with people. So guide yourself around with godly community. Bible says do not forsake the assemblies of the godly, right? If you have a church, be around your friends, family members. Surround yourself with those kind of people. And then just learn from the mistake and move on. And then allow time. Another thing is allow time. Okay, allow time to heal. It takes time to heal, but know that you are not too broken for God to heal. Okay, Bible says that He makes all things beautiful. At the right time, He makes all things beautiful. And the Bible says that none shall lack amidst. So don't have that fear. Don't allow fear over. Don't be overcome by fear, and doubt and all of that. No, Bible says none shall lack amidst. There's that beautiful woman out there still for you. There's that beautiful man out there that God has prepared for you. So know that. Just wait. Allow yourself to heal, so that you don't go into the other relationship, with the baggage from what you have gotten now. So that you heal very well, and then go into the relationship that God will, the right person. Start a relationship with the right person that God will bring your way. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that advice. As a church of God, focus on the right people around you. Seek wise counsel. Spend time with God, and you heal. Wait for time to pass. Thank you so much.
And then forgive the person. My goodness, forgive the person. Forgive. Okay. Yeah, and then forgive the person. Let the person go, so that you don't become bitter. You don't need bitterness. When you walk in unforgiveness, okay, you just be. It's like you are taking a poison, okay. While the other person is enjoying his or her life, you are suffering there. You are the one that is going through the pain if you allow unforgiveness. But so forgive the person. Let the person go. Wish the person well. Pray for the person. Okay, that will even ease the pain. Also, you're happy to ease from the pain.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Guys, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate. I hope you're going with the flow. Make sure you're active. Make sure you engage. You tap the screen, comment, share this lesson. Question, write it down. And then after we finish, we're going to answer your question. Thank you so much, everybody. My next question to you, Coach Sweeta, or Counselor Sweeta. Is it okay to date a Christian, and what are the boundaries?
Christian, okay, people say Christian dating. All right. That is a good question. When it comes to this Christian dating thing, the Bible does not explicitly talk about Christian dating. And so I don't believe in this Christian dating thing. And the reason is that when people date, these days they use the word dating People use the word seeing each other. People use the word going out with each other. People use the word getting to know each other. When they are doing when they are doing all that, they are in a relationship, and they call it a relationship. Now, when they are in a relationship, emotions are going to come in. People are going to become emotionally connected, and that's where the love. That's what people call the love now. Okay, people will become emotionally connected in a strong way. Love will come in, right? And the thing now is this: if after 2 years, after 1 year, because they say they are getting to know each other. If after 1 year or after 2 years, the person now, one of them now decide to say, okay, this person is not the right person, what's going to happen? This heartbreak that we've just talked about is what is going to happen. Somebody's heart will be broken. Okay, so that's why I don't really believe in it. The Bible talks about courtship. Okay, so that's when you meet the person, you tell the person that you are interested in getting married to the person, then that relationship is defined. When we talk about the Christian dating today, the relationship is not defined. We don't know. They're just people are just together in a relationship. They say they love each other, they are emotionally connected and all that. And now we understand that in this day and age, it's not like in those days anymore, where before you get married to people, before you get married to a person, usually before the man is the one that finds the wife, right? As Christians, yeah. So before if the man wants to get married, in those days, they would, people will even recommend the family, okay? People would have seen known families. So we used to live a communal lifestyle where people see families that are good, and they'll be like, hey, go to that family, you get a good woman from that family, because that family is a very good family. They have integrity and all of that. And some people even recommend some families that say, hey, that family is a very good family. They raise their children very well. Okay, their children are morally upright and all that. Go get a wife from that family. But today, thank you. But today, that is not the case anymore. The way we live today, really, to be sincere, people are no longer that open to people. You don't even know the person's living you don't even know your next door neighbor today. Okay, it's difficult for you to know people that are even living close to you. So today, people meet each other really sincerely. People meet each other in schools. People meet each other in different places. At church, at workplace. Even online. People are more present online today in 2026. Okay. So people meet each other online today and they start a relationship. So I understand very well that people need to get to know the person that they would get married to before they propose marriage to the person. So now this is what I usually recommend. I recommend that people should, if you see a person that you like, you feel like you like this person and you would want to get to know the person, become friends with that person. Become friends with the person, okay? Become close friends with the person. As a guy, if you start getting close to a lady and the lady is interested in you, she will usually tilt towards you. She'll be interested in that friendship. So you can become close friends with that person. While you are friends with the person, be observing the person, okay? Whether on ground or online, be observing the person. Thank you. From the way you communicate, okay, the way the person relates to other people, the person on the till, how does the person treat that person? And it's people even become even more vulnerable because when they are just friends, because they are free, they feel like there's nothing at stake, they will be themselves. People will be themselves more when there's just friendship. But people are very close. I don't know if you have been there, I don't know if you are, there's anybody like that when they were growing up, they used to be closer to the opposite gender. Okay, let me not use the word gender, right? They used to be friends with the opposite. So as a lady, you like to be friends more to guys than ladies. I don't know if I have people like that in the house. Growing up, you prefer being friends to guys as a lady, and as a guy, you prefer being friends to girls. Okay, there are people like that. I was one of such people. I preferred being friends to guys when I was growing up. So I had a lot of guys that were friends. We were very close friends. Some of them, some people even think there was something going on between us, but there was nothing. We were just very close friends. So that's what even today, even within my extended family, that's my extended, not my immediate extended family, not my siblings, but cousins. First cousins, second cousins. I think I'm still closer to the men than the women because I prefer to be closer to men. I feel like women don't have issues, problems. Yeah. So I love being friends to men usually more than women, and I have a lot of people that are like that. So that's what I'm trying to say. So build friendship with the person that you like, that you're thinking about, going into marry, intending to get married to, and then you get to that trying to know the person. You know the person, but the person will know that the relationship is not defined. You've not told the person you marry her and all of that. Okay, but now what I say to people that let that friendship have a deadline. Attach a deadline so you don't be there continuously, because somebody will come and marry that other person and then you now complain and say thank you and say, hey, but we have been friends, we've been very close friends. Is she trying to say she didn't know that I loved her? She didn't know. She cannot assume. Is he trying to know that I didn't know? He does not know. He didn't tell you he was going to marry you. Okay, anybody can marry the person. That's why you need to put a deadline to that close friendship, where you now say to the person at some point that, oh, I would love for you to be the mother of my children one day. I would love for you to be my wife one day. I would love to get married to you. Yeah. So when you say that, then the relationship is now defined. The person now knows that you are interested in her. Usually it's the men that ask for the hand of the women. The Bible says he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from God. So it's the man that finds the woman. So when you say that to the woman, what you have done is that you have proposed to that woman. You see, this thing about going down on one knee, proposing, putting the ring in the finger, I call that engagement ceremony. That's what I call it. Engagement ceremony. That's the ceremony. And then you know some people that will come with a t-shirt, and the t-shirt, they've already written on the t-shirt that she said yes. How did they know that she was going to say yes? So I call it a ceremony. So the point I'm trying to make is that at the point where you tell that lady that, hey, I would love for you to be my wife someday, that was the time you proposed to that person. That was the time that you got engaged to that person. From then on, you are now courting. Okay, so you can now be courting, because as Christians, it's in the period of courting that believers that are intending to get married to each other are supposed to study each other, know each other, because now it is defined. They know the purpose for the relationship. It is marriage, and then they are watching each other. It's supposed to be during courtship, not the one they call a relationship now. They call it dating. They call it boyfriend and girlfriend, and people are tempted to go into things that are not right and all of that. Yeah. So that's my take on that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for explaining it very well. Meaning the boundaries should be there. You're still a Christian, the boundary should be there. That's when you mentioned that dating, Christian dating. What do you mean, Christian dating? Get to know each other, be friends, but don't maybe when you're in friends, remember they can start dating and you're gonna get hurt because they don't know, unless you tell them. They don't know if there's something going on. So don't confuse it as you make friendship. Don't confuse it that the other party is in you, because they might be liking you, they might be liking what you're doing, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that you are the one. We should not confuse. I've seen that thing happening. You got good in terms with your brothers and sisters in the congregation, then all of a sudden, boom, you get a shock, he's getting married. And you start, oh my goodness, you've been together what? You've been just friends.
You didn't say anything. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Guys, if you know you have any question, feel free to reach out as we continue with this question. Write down your questions and they're gonna be answered. So, Coach Sweeta, how do you hear God clearly when making relationship decisions? Now you have checked the quality and everything, you have begun, your values are moving together. Because to be sincere with you, Coach Sweeta, sometimes people go to church to get husbands, to get wives. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's very common over here. Some people go intentionally church to get a spouse. So they might pretend. Now you have seen everything, the values. Yes, we talked about peace, that peace. At the same time, maybe you confused something in the process, because now you have peace, you're aligning, they're calling you for Bible study, they're encouraging you in whatever you're doing. But now you have started this relationship. How do you know God? How do you hear God clearly when making this relationship